Hi. If your Amazon KDP book isn't selling, don't be discouraged. It's often not the book itself that's the problem. In most cases, it's small but critical parts of your book listing that are holding you back. In this video, I'll break down what those are and show you exactly how to improve them so you get more visibility, drive more sales, and increase your royalties. This episode is part of our book audit series where I review listings submitted by members of our community. You'll see what's working, what's not, and how making the right changes can help you get more sales and long-term success on Amazon. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's look at the first book request that we got. So we can see here, this has a bestseller rank of 2 million something. So it has gotten a sale in the past, but currently we're not getting any sales. So let's see what we can do to help you. So I really like your cover. That looks really, really nice. Good job on creating the cover. So that's definitely not your problem. Let's take a look at your title. So it says, Just Between Us, Mother and Adult Daughter Journal, Matching Color Interior, Guided Prompts, Fill in the blanks, questions and line pages for ... So it's getting cut off by Amazon. Pass back and forth between mom and her girl. All right, so I can see that you definitely put a lot of effort into your subtitle, trying to target many keywords. I do like your title, Just Between Us. That's nice. I think there's a lot of room for improvement with your subtitle, however, and I think that's one of the reasons you're not getting sales. So I like mother and daughter journal, but adult daughter I don't think is really the best keyword. And if it just says daughter, it can still be adult or any age. So I think this is just a little bit too niche. So I would, in the future, for your next one, have mother and daughter journal. I think that's a much better keyword. And then matching color interior. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing you're trying to say that the interior matches the cover, but it's also not fully clear. So I think this is potentially slightly wasted space of your title, unless I have a misunderstanding on it. But as of now, I would say get rid of that for your next one. Guided prompts, that's a good keyword for your title. Fill in the blanks, that's also good. Questions and line pages. I guess when you say questions, I don't really know what kind of questions, so it's more of a mystery to me. I don't think that's really helping. And then line pages, I don't think that's really necessary, but that could be fine. I'm not too against it, but then something's getting cut off, so that's not good. And then pass back and forth. I'm not sure if that's the best keywords. Between mom and her girl. So I see you're trying to target mother and mom. So I think in some cases that can be quite good for low content books, and then daughter and girl. But her girl doesn't read right to me. So I would just have maybe between her and her mom or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but her and girl doesn't go together too well. So yeah, I would just optimize the title with the things I just went over. And then looking at your description, you definitely put a lot of effort into that, so that's great. My only recommendation is having 5 bullet points early on. So my preference for a description is having 1 line and then 5 bullet points and then the rest of the description. But the reason I like the 5 bullet points at the top is so a user can easily see what the book is about without having to read the full description. And ideally, the bullet points would get them more interested to either buy it on the spot or to read more. So that's what I would do that. And then, so you have A+ content, so great job on doing that. I really like your first image. I like the colors. Nothing wrong with that. And then this also looks good. And then you have an author image, but no description. Okay, so I would just add that. That would just make it that much better. And then you only have ratings, but no actual reviews. So if you want more reviews for this book or your future ones, you can check out selfpublishingtitans.com and click on the ARC reviews. And this is a brand new service where you can get readers for your books to help with getting reviews and early feedback. But your biggest problem for not getting sales is definitely your title and then potentially your 7 backend keywords. And then looking at the price, we have $14.99. So I'm guessing it's priced out because of the color interior. I would also try making a black and white with nice grayscale colors. I think that could also be just fine, and then you can price it at $8.99 or something like that, which will also be easier to get sales and easier to run ads on it and just better overall launches. So I would try that with another book and see if that does better for you. So I hope this review is helpful for you. If you make any updates or new books, feel free to submit them again. I'd love to see them in the future and continue helping you. So let's take a look at the next one. So here we have a coloring book. So this has no bestseller rank, which means it has never gotten a single sale. And we also have no reviews. So that's definitely a problem. And then the cover, I mean, it looks quite colorful and cool, but honestly, this doesn't look like a coloring book for me. So I think that's the first reason you're not getting sales. This would look more like a picture book or some fact book to me or something like that. Yeah, so I would definitely hire somebody to do your cover or try to do it better yourself. But you definitely want to make it look like a coloring book. So let's look at your title. So it says Monuments in Lines. That kind of reads odd, a coloring book of iconic landmarks. So that sounds good with fascinating facts. So I'm not sure if fascinating facts needs to be in your title. I think that could be more of a bullet point. And then Monuments in Lines. This doesn't sound right to me. And then for a medium content book, this title and subtitle is quite short. So I would definitely see what you can do to improve that. And you definitely want to get some reviews. And then you price it at $9.99 for a coloring book. But I think for a brand new coloring book, when you're launching it, I think you can launch it cheaper, maybe $7.99, or if you're doing ads, $8.99. And then these bullet points don't really look clear. I'd make it look like actual bullet points and then have them near the top. And let's take a look what you said here. So explore the world's most iconic landmarks through art and knowledge. Monuments in Lines is a unique monument coloring book that combines creativity and education, perfect for all ages. Okay, so suitable for kids, teens, and adults. So that's another problem. Coloring books not usually suited for all ages. And sometimes Amazon also doesn't like books being targeted for kids and adults. And I've seen that getting rejected. So it's better to target kids and teens in one, or teens and adults in one, or adults and senior in one. So a little bit more closely related age groups, but not all of them together. And for monuments and landmarks, most likely that's better for teens and adults and not kids. But also this description is really not the best. It doesn't read the best for me. So I'd probably put that into ChatGPT, ask you to rewrite it and create 5 good bullet points, and then use that. Obviously edit it a little bit more just to make sure it's perfect. But so far, the main reasons you're not getting sales is the cover, your title, and your description, and possibly the price. So it's a bit of a all across the board. And then here's a big missed opportunity for a coloring book. On the back cover, you always want to make sure that you show your coloring pages so a user can see what the book is about and what the images look like without scrolling down. So this will help you get more better conversions. So good job on having A+ content. I don't like the way this is placed, the text and the check marks. I'll try to improve that. This image I like. I like that you're showcasing the coloring pages. This I think has too many colors, and I don't really like the blue outline on this. And then the facts, that doesn't really look nicely formatted. So if that's in your book, I would also spend a little bit more time formatting that a little bit nicer. This page I think is quite good. This is definitely your best page so far. So you can see the before and after. Big fan of that. I think that's something that could be on the back cover. And then these look fine, but there's definitely a lot of detail. So this is not something I would give to kids, more of an older audience. And then here, so you don't have a picture or an author description. So definitely adds that. It just gives a more professional look. So that would be my feedback for you. I hope that helps. And then let's check the next one. All right, so shit, I can't remember. So I guess this is a funny notebook. Bestseller rank of basically 5 million, not getting any sales, out of print. So you're not selling it anymore, but I'll still check it just for everyone's interest, because obviously this book wasn't doing well and has no reviews. So let's find all the mistakes and things that could have been done better. So the cover overall I think is fine for a funny kind of password notebook. Shit, I can't remember is fine. Obviously always make sure that there's no trademark or something like that, just in case. Notebook for passwords, so that's good. But you didn't capitalize the P, so it's just a small mistake that this doesn't look consistent and professional. And then organizer. So organizer is something that I wouldn't ever use for a self-published book on Amazon, because organizers usually have some tabs or some sleeves or something like that. And that's something that a regular KDP book cannot do. Logbook, that's fine. But now you're saying notebook again, you've already set that, so it's just duplicate and a waste of space. And then passwords again, and then here it's capitalized, and then here it wasn't. And then he's saying and shit again, so that's kind of unnecessary. So this is basically just wasted space. So overall, you have a quite short title and subtitle for a low content kind of book. So that can definitely be improved upon for the future. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so there's no A+ content showing. So for anyone publishing books, I would always recommend doing A+ content now. Before it wasn't as important, but as Amazon is getting more and more competitive, you want to really put your best foot forward. So I would do that. And then you also don't have an author description, and then this image is kind of wasted. I would maybe put something a bit nicer. And then no reviews, obviously. So if you need reviews, once again, you can use selfpublishingtitans.com and click on ARC reviews to get people checking out your books. All right, so these were the next 3. If you want daily videos like this, make sure to subscribe. I'm currently doing a new video every single day to help you guys as much as possible. And if you want your book reviewed, go to selfpublishingtitans.com/review, and then I'll check out your book as soon as I can. All right, bye.